Hello, my virtual journal again. I am back. Mother is back! Yay! Do you guys like my Pikachu shirt? I got it at the thrift yesterday. I got it at Goodwill. Pokemon, Pikachu, number 25. I love Pokemon. I play all the Pokemon games on my Switch. Obviously the ones that are playable on the Switch. And then before that, I used to play Pokemon on my Nintendo, and I was such a freaking nerd. I also collected Pokemon cards. I think I have a couple Pokemon figurines. I have a Pikachu Squishamallow. If you ask me what my favorite Pokemon is, I'm going to tell you it is Rabombi. Those who know, Rabombi, goated. I love Pokemon so much, and I don't know why I'm going on a rambling about Pokemon, but I just thought my shirt was so cute. Oh my god, it's so cute. Anyways, I went to the thrift yesterday. Girl, that was so good, and I am not going to say where. I did say Goodwill, but I'm not going to say which Goodwill because I don't want these upscalers or whatever, the resellers, to go into that frick ass Goodwill. What did I say, frick ass? I meant fuck ass Goodwill. I don't want them to go into my Goodwill and take my shit, okay? Because I had such a great time. A lot of the stuff fit me. I was going to buy, you know what? I did buy a lot, but it was, I might have put 2 or 3 things in my purse, but still, I totally did not do that though. Allegedly, should I say? That was alleged. Yeah, so it was good. I've been like rotting. I haven't been like called into work, and I've been off, and like, like it's been a mix of both. I haven't really worked a lot, but then I did also work a lot the past couple of days. So I can't really say I didn't work because I did work every single day that I was on call for. But then before that, I was on call, but I wasn't called. It's been like a mix and a balance, And I was having a crisis. I was kind of falling out of love with my job. And didn't understand what was happening and why it was happening. I kind of was just like, fuck, like, I'm like falling out of love with my job. And it's a job I've been doing since I was 18. And it's pretty tough because this is a job that I've been wanting to do ever since I was a kid. It's kind of like a dream job of mine. And I feel like I've reached a point of stagnant, a stalemate. And it's kind of hard when that happens in your career. And then you kind of have to ask yourself, like, what's next? Like, what do I do next? How do I reinvent? How do I evolve? How do I grow? And I've been looking at different opportunities, but then I did just go on a trip for work. And that work trip I was kind of like, you know what? I know you do appreciate this. Like, I kind of do love my job. Like, I'm being such a bitch, should I say. And part of me thinks it's probably also the hormones. Because, like, they've been out of whack. But, like, oh my God, they've been so out of whack. Girl, I was at my hotel on said work trip. And I don't cry, okay? I don't cry. I'm not an emotional person. I know that sounds kind of sick to say, but I don't know. It's hard for me to do that. And I mean, I know why. I feel like it's because of the way that I was raised, and a lot of my childhood, growing up as a boy, especially in a very, in a Cuban household, and, Catholic too, Christian Catholic, you're always taught boys don't cry. And like, I would kind of get in trouble for crying, and I feel like because of that, I programmed my brain that I can't cry. And I feel like part of me kind of hates that that's how that happened, because I feel like there's so many emotions that I feel like I should experience, and I should experience them more, but I'm not able to, because I feel like I have robbed myself, or I have been robbed of feeling those emotions. And it's kind of tough. It's a tough thing to kind of deal with and think about and talk about. because it's kind of like makes me seem like a sick fuck when I say, oh, I can't cry. I don't cry. Well, bitch, I don't cry. What about it, bitch? I'm a bad bitch. And there's so many things I feel like I should cry about, and so many things that has happened that I should have cried about. I mean, it's not that I never cry. Girl, everybody cries, okay? And I've cried, trust me. But I've never had like a mental breakdown where like I just cry. And I remember that day, I don't know, something was in the air. I was watching Vampire Diaries, hashtag Team Damon, and I was on season 2. Spoiler if you haven't watched Vampire Diaries and if you want to, but when Aunt Jenna dies because of Klaus, girl, I lost it. I started crying, okay? And mind you, I've never cried because of a show unless it was K-pop Demon Hunters. And don't judge me because I cried to K-pop Demon Hunters. I was drunk, okay? Anyways, I cried when Aunt Jenna died, okay? And that was like, I wasn't bawling my eyes out, but I had a couple tears. And I was like, I felt so empathetic. And I've never really feel empathy. Like, I'm not an empathetic person. Well, that sounds so fucked up. But, yeah, like, it's hard, okay? It's hard. And, I was watching that and I cried. And then later on, I was on TikTok and I was scrolling on TikTok. And I saw a video of this cat. And this cat that was dying, and it's like the owner and the cat, and the owner's like crying, and the cat is like having its last couple breaths, and the cat like goes to touch the owner's face, and then such the cat fucking dies, and I fucking bawled my eyes out because I started to think about Suki. And if you know Suki, you know what happened with Suki. Rest in peace, Suki. Suki was my like 10-week-old little baby cat, and she passed away really young, and that shit broke me so bad. And I started thinking about Suki, and I was like, oh my god, like I couldn't stop crying because of Suki and, you know, all the emotions that I was feeling. And then after that, I just started to spiral. Girl, I spiraled. I started thinking about everything that's gone wrong in my life, all the shit that's happening. You know, I started crying about how, you know, my transition started. I started crying about how you know, things that happened when I was a teenager. I was a fucking wreck for like 10-15 minutes crying. I'm sitting there looking at the roof crying like this in my hotel room, by the way, mind you. I'm like, why the fuck am I crying? What the fuck? And I mean, as liberating as it felt to cry and finally let that shit go, it was kind of hard. Like, it was hard to kind of just come to terms with all this stuff and like actually let it go. You know, it felt very healthy to do that, and I hope I'm able to cry more. I know that's kind of fucked up to say, I don't know, but I hope I'm able to let things go a little bit more and be able to process things how they should have been processed when things happened, and I want to be able to do that more. And, you know, after my mental breakdown, I called my bestie, Ari, and I was like, you know, I was on the phone and I was crying, and because I couldn't stop crying. Like, I genuinely couldn't stop crying. And I love her so much because she calmed me down and she talked to me, and, you know, we talked for a minute. And Ari is such a great fucking person. And Ari Glaze over here is always accepted. But she really knew what to say in that moment to help me. And I feel like I'm so lucky to have friends like that, and I'm so blessed to have people that surround me, that support me like that, because although I feel like I've lost support in some places, the support in other places remain the same, and that's something that I always cherish because my friends are like my family to me, and I love them so much. So that was such a deep moment. And honestly, I think too, I've been meditating like almost every day, and I think because of the meditation, I feel like I'm becoming a lot more aware of my mental state and the way that I think of things and the way I am putting words out there and stuff like that. It's made me more self-aware, should I say. It's made me more self-aware, and it's not that I wasn't self-aware before, because I was. I just think meditation helps heighten that. And meditation helps you realize that. And yeah, that has to do with stuff like, opening your third eye and, enhancing your psychic abilities, which I hope to do that with time. And I hope I'm able to achieve that, because I think that'd be such a cool thing to do. And, I've been learning. Girl, I've been reading. There's this book back there under all my clothes that I have just took out the bag and set aside because I need to wash them from Goodwill. But there's a book they've been reading called The Psychic Witch. And it's a book about how, to tie in the psychic ability with witchcraft, because people tend to perceive it as two different things, when in reality, both work together to help each other. And the book essentially is all about that. It's about how to, get better at meditating, how to enhance your psychic abilities, how to do all these different things. And there's a bunch of exercises in there too. My contact is bothering me. There's a bunch of exercises in there too that help with that. Oh my God. Oh, that was so ugly. Wait, low key? Is it crazy if I shave my brows? I low-key look fucked up like that. That was so messed up. Where was I? I don't know. Yeah, I've been reading that book. It's been fun. It's been a really good read. I've been learning a lot, and how science really does tie in with the psychic ability and within witchcraft. Like, a lot of people view these things as things that go against science, but in reality, it's not that. Science and witchcraft work hand in hand. Yes, there are things that happen that science cannot explain, right? There are certain things you're kind of like, what the fuck? But shit happens. I don't fucking... Why did I brain fart so fucking bad? I don't know what the fuck has been up with me. Low key, I have like the worst brain fog sometimes, and I just go like all over the place. Anyways, I also did want to talk to you guys about I got cracked. And it was the first time in a long time, because ever since I started my transition, trans girls, I've lost a lot of my libido, and it's been pretty hard, losing that side of me and being out of touch. But girl, she's back. And I feel like, yes, you can. I'm going to tie this into like my little spiritual side, because, sorry, I touched the microphone, y'all. I'm going to tie this a little bit into my spiritual side, because I began praying to Lilith, and I've been lighting a candle in her honor with her sigil on it. And Lilith is known to be, people argue if she's a goddess or not, she's a goddess, whatever she is. I don't care what you believe of Lilith. I view her as a figure. I view her as a feminine figure. She is divine. She is a divine figure, in my opinion. And I've been praying to her, and I've been, leaving that candle as an offering to her. And girl, has she listened to my damn prayer? And she worked fast. Okay? Fast, honey, because it's been less than a week. When I tell you, I went from not wanting to see another penis in my life. Like, I did not want to see one. I was damn near, like, I don't know, I was about to be the next Virgin Mary type shit. Like, I was about to go nun. I was about to be a fucking nun, okay? When I went from 0 to 100 in literally so fast. And when I tell you I was at 100 yesterday, girl, I have not felt like that in a long time. And to my trans sisters out there, I feel like sometimes this is a whole thing I can get into. I feel like as trans women, and possibly even as trans men out there too, I feel like we rob ourselves of these experiences because we feel like we won't experience them, or we don't deserve them, or nobody will help us, or, people don't see us for who we are and stuff like that. we rob ourselves from these experiences out of fear, kind of like a default sometimes. And I felt like I was robbing myself of that experience, and I was not allowing myself to feel that. And I kind of started to come to terms with letting go of the way that people perceive me. And perception is one motherfucker, okay? Especially as a trans person. Especially as a trans person. Hear me out, my trans sisters and brothers. Once we let go of that perception, or let go of caring of perception, your trans experience changes. Your experience as a trans person is so much more than what other people think or what other people view you. Because if you get so caught up on that, it's damn near fatal, detrimental. It's not good for your mental. It's very destructive. And I started to realize that I was caring too much about how people perceived me, and if people were going to perceive me as a woman or as a trans, whatever, cis, I don't give a fuck. Like, I realized it's not the end of the world if somebody doesn't view me for who I want to be seen as, because who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? And that is so liberating. That is so liberating. And I guess I say this because I was showering after I got cracked. And I was sitting there and I was kind of like robbing myself of the joy that I had felt in that moment. And I was telling myself, oh, is he going to go do this with other girls? Oh, is there another trans girl? Oh, is there this? Or there's a cis girl? You know, I feel kind of like I might be the other woman. You know, I was just going in my head and I was like going in circles, and I was just thinking all this like detrimental shit. Like, I was thinking shit that I shouldn't be thinking about, robbing myself from the joy of the experience that I just had. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? Why can't I just experience it and be okay with what it was and just enjoy it? And that's something obviously I need to work on, but part of it is realizing that all those things don't matter at all. I shouldn't have to continue to rob myself of these experiences out of fear, out of doubt. It's a hard pill to swallow, 1000%. But once you swallow that pill, honey, ain't nobody stopping you. Nobody. Okay? Damn, I look chopped as fuck when I said that. Oof. I don't give a fuck though. Realizing all this stuff helps a lot. And which is why I say, like, doing this like virtual diary is so helpful, because I get to actually speak this shit out loud, and I actually get to talk about this, whether it's just to myself, because I don't give a fuck if other people listen to this or not. Like, I really don't care. It helps me realize the stuff that I'm going through, and it helps me process the things that I'm going through and see where I'm at in my life currently. And it's helpful. It really is helpful. And, you know, I suggest everybody does it. Not necessarily if you don't want to do a virtual diary, you don't have to do a virtual diary, but girl, journal. Journal. Open your notes app. Open your voice memos. Speak to your voice memos. That's what I do. I'll speak to my voice memos if I'm thinking of something and I'm like, you know what? This is something I should keep in my mind and, like, think about it. talk to yourself, and don't be like talking to yourself like you're a fucking crazy bitch. I mean, everybody's crazy. I don't really give a fuck. I'm crazy. People think I'm crazy for doing witchcraft and shit like that. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Everybody's great. Damn, I look crazy. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. When you start to let things go, the things that matter start to come to you. Okay? Now I feel like I can go take on the whole entire world. So, moral of the story to my trans brothers and sisters: fuck perception. And it's easier said than done. But fuck perception. Once you let that go, your life changes. And this could apply to a cis bitch too. A cis man or a cis woman. Okay? If you care too much about what people think or how people perceive you or how they are going to perceive you, your life will be so miserable. And I feel like I was living that. And I don't give a fuck no more. I don't. Damn, that bitch out there laughing loud as fuck. Anyways, I think that was such a good talk. I don't really know. I don't really have anything else to say. I feel like that felt very like releasing and very healing, to say the least, and just letting shit go. So thank you for coming to my tech talk today, you guys. Bye-bye.